You and I met, I think, just before I left to climb Kili. And then when I came back, right there on the spot, a decade ago, you inspired me to write my first book, which, and at the time, mind you, I was writing the A-Game Business Blueprint, which I thought was going to be my first book, but you really made me see things differently. The book was called The Climb, and you literally gave me, some super juice that I didn't know I still had at the time. Now, tell me, what was it about that particular moment that made you encourage me to take that leap sooner than I felt that I was ready?
Beautiful question. Here's one of my core beliefs that I know without a shadow of a doubt. In the moment that a desire is born within our minds, within our hearts, we are ready. The acknowledgement of the desire, the thought of the desire, is actually the first manifestation of the fullness of the desire. And what we then do is we've been conditioned to put all these things in front of us to go, oh yeah, one day I'll write this book, one day I'll do whatever it is. But there's this process that needs to be followed. I first have to go and learn how to do this and pay the Pied Piper all these prices. And I know that that's a lie. I know that you are already in that moment of acknowledging the desire. And so I just help people, and that's what I did for you, is let's just wipe the slate clean of all the BS and get straight through to, no, you already know that you are ready for this. Just do it. Just write it.
Just write it. And it took me 3 weeks and it was done. I mean, I had a lot of help from Andrew Miller, my friend, mentor. Love you, Andy. Hope to have you on this podcast at some point as well. But I totally understand what you mean, Al. The moment was there. And I'm getting chills now because I'm literally in that moment. And for the life of me, I cannot understand what happened to me in that moment. But what I do know is some greatness was unlocked, right? And I'll always appreciate you for that. Now, you work with the executive athletes to reach extraordinary goals without compromise. I mean, you've done Ironman twice, super kick-ass. I think that's such a badass thing to do, right? I don't even consider it myself. Maybe, who knows, one day. Now, this level of work you do, how did this focus on what you call all-dimensional growth become central to your approach, and in terms of the kind of impact that you see it having on clients?
So, like most people, I was brought up with the belief of sacrifice. If we wanted to be successful in business, we have to sacrifice personal health and relationships. If we wanted to be super successful in sport, we have to sacrifice success in professionalism, in relationships. There's always this sacrifice that needs to be given.
Yeah.
So that's the one part of it. And then there's the other part of me working as a professional coach and, being brought up in the same school of we set a goal and we get super focused on it and we go for it. But what I started noticing is every single time that we did this one-dimensional goal setting, the other pieces of people's lives still were falling to the wayside. There was still a sacrifice being made in order for them to do this. And then we would set a goal to try and rectify the area that we have just neglected. And it's this insane whack-a-mole approach to life that we are being taught. One day I started thinking to myself, well, this is crazy, because what I realized is when I went and did Ironman, my business improved. My relationship started improving because I didn't set a goal to become an Ironman. I took on the identity of an Ironman, right? I did Ironman in 4 months. Somebody sent me a YouTube video of this motivational thing. And when the guy crossed the line and the announcer said, "John, you are an Ironman," I just went, oh, I was born to be an Ironman. And I took out my credit card and I entered the race. And 4 months later, I crossed the finish line, even though no coach would touch me because everybody goes, this is not how you do it. Nobody does it in 4 months.
Yeah.
But it was an enhancement of who I am. It wasn't a goal. It was an enhancement. And so I started understanding that truly, when we set transformational goals instead of transactional goals, which is what we are taught to set.
Like that.
When we set transformational goals, we literally transform who we are, and it is an enhancement of ourselves. When we enhance ourselves, all levels of our lives are enhanced. So it's an all-dimensional enhancement that I work on with my clients, because if you are super successful in business, but your identity is success, then you have to be super successful in your health, and you have to be super successful in your personal relationships, and you have to be super successful in your spiritual connection. It's an all-dimensional field that I play on instead of the one-dimensional transactional goal setting. And I say transactional because there's a price to pay.